veins. I've been driving this train, years in this lane. There's no stopping this flame, cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
welcome in everybody. Come on in, welcome in. We have the beautiful, the sexy, the brilliant, intelligent Kayla from Ready to Love Miami. Welcome her in, folks.
Yes.
Hi everyone. How y'all doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good, Kayla. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thanks for dropping by. We've been wanting to have you and talk to you for a while now.
I know you've been flooded with DMs, so I know when I hit you in the DM, you probably like, who the hell is this? You know, it's like
I was just trying to keep up. That's all.
Yeah, I know your box been flooded.
The messages, they come in.
Yeah.
So. But
cool.
what was it like? What has it been like being on such a popular own network TV show? What has that been like for you?
It's been intense. I think sometimes, I have to just step away from it because, it's an experiment for sure. It's a social experiment for sure. But I had a good experience. I think overall, like, I know who I am. I'm very true to myself. And that is one thing I can say about my experience is that, I was pretty honest. I was actually really nice. I'm not even like super nice like that. I mean, I'm nice, but like it's a show. So we're here to talk a little shit. So right. I kept it really cute. I really did.
I was noticing it, and I want to talk to you about that in a little while too. I noticed that your demeanor amongst some of your competitors or castmates, if you want to call them, however you want to say it, you were very, like you said, you kept it cute. You kept it cute, and that was nice because in previous seasons we've seen some of the contestants, some of the castmates not be so cute.
Yeah, and it can be kind of, we heard this in the past. I'm not sure if you can confirm this, but we heard this from other seasons with other cast members that it can get quite cliquish. Have you sensed that in this season?
Yes, there's definitely cliques.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. Yeah, we figured as much so. But what made you come to Ready to Love? What led you to the show? Because you're very attractive, obviously, and you probably get hit on a lot out in the regular streets. So why the TV show?
Well, I actually never heard of the show. Actually, someone that I used to work with years ago, because I've been in entertainment for years. Like, I grew up as an arts kid, went to arts high school. I was in the spring musical. I was a ballerina. I danced in many ballets, dance competitions. And then when I became an adult after college, I had an agent. I've danced for major artists, tours, shows, award shows, lots of commercials, stuff like that. So I was kind of already somewhere in like the entertainment space, like being a professional dancer. And so someone that I know, like, came to me and was like, "Hey, Kayla, are you still single? There's this show. I think you would be great for it. Like, it's real. It's like older, mature dating, people that are really seasoned. This is what I'm being told. Okay."
Right. They didn't tell you the pitfall parts, huh?
Right. And it was just kind of like, you can be on the show now. You're 30. I was like, yeah, I'm 30 now. I actually turned 31 in June. So I was like, yeah, like, let's see about it, because they were like, oh, Black love in Miami. I was like, this ain't necessarily the place for the
what?
There's not a large population of like Black professionals here. It's more of a melting pot. People are more like they focus a little more ethnically, like wherever they're from ethnically. So there's like Jamaicans,
Oh,
there's
okay.
Haitians, there's Dominicans. It's not the
Oh,
traditional like Black American. There's not a big
Mm.
population of that in Miami. Like with me coming from DC, it's totally different. So I was like, okay, if Own can find something, okay,
Mm.
then let's see. Because I was, but the whole time I was side eyeing, I'm like, what y'all gonna find out here? Because I would have found it, you
Right.
know. But you know, I was just open for the experience. I said, hey, why not? I'm already doing different things in the media, you know. If I could find love in the same space, that would be like amazing. And we could do it all, you know what I mean? And it could be, you know, that. So that was my wants and kind of like reason and buy into the process.
You know what's interesting? That Aubrey and I have a saying that the dating pool has pee and poop in it. So in your regular dating life, what have you found? The challenges you have found. What are those challenges?
So the challenges, I mean, I was in a relationship last year. I was actually engaged and I was it was on and off, it was toxic. I don't know. But
Okay.
yeah, so I was just kind of like I was just back in the dating pool like that last year, and I was just kind of like not really seeing what I wanted. A lot of the guys were like liars, players, very
What?
yeah,
No.
like oh my gosh, who would have thought? Right? A lot of the men just weren't serious. Like a lot of men wanted to have their cake and eat it too, and like I don't know. In Miami, I just wasn't finding what I liked. I tend to date people like long distance, people that live other places, and it just kind of was like, I just wasn't seeing what I needed to see. But my mind was also closed. I also was like, had only certain type of people I would consider. So in this process, I was like, let me open up in this process to like more just the everyday guy that's like looking for a wife, you know, doesn't have to necessarily be like the most money or the most perfect everything. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, maybe that's why I've been missing it. Maybe I need to just open up my
I
horizons
have
a little bit.
I have a question for you. You bring up a very valid point. What are some of your like on a short list, like you said, because you're now trying to open yourself up, which is a great thing. I think that many of us, when we're looking for love or want to be or find love or be open to love, we should open ourselves up. What are some things, though, if you had to name like just a few, 2 or 3 things on your must-have, you know, you require this. What would be your requirements?
Like before the show or now?
Um, you know what I'm going to say before the show, and then tell me now.
So before the show, it was honesty, height, and a great career. That was like, I want to homeschool. My mom homeschooled. I want to do these certain things that take resources. So, and then after the show, my most important thing is still honesty, but it's not height and necessarily career anymore. It's more so about a man with tenacity, because you know you can work to get something, but what if you lose it? Somebody that like no matter what, I can trust in their plan and in their leadership. And then the other thing is like humor. Like I'm a really
Mm.
like fun person, and I want someone that I can have fun with, joke with, be however with, and like be silly and like let's twerk, and then but like still be like the other side where I'm very professional. I work in corporate America, you know what I mean? Like someone that can do both to me. So that's what it is now. And I also had like a complexion thing, but I don't have that anymore either. So
Wow.
Oh,
Well,
wow. Go ahead. Go
you
ahead.
know, Aubrey, that's a great segue because we dealt with this. Well, I've dealt with this a lot growing up. I'm pretty sure Aubrey has seen it in her career. She was a professional model, and in my neighborhoods, we grew up with this colorism thing. You know, the dark skinned girls against the light skinned girls, and we had these different names they called each other, high yellow heifers, and all this other kind of stupid stuff. And a woman who looks like you would think they have their pick of the litter, right? But have you dealt with colorism? And if so, what are your thoughts on that? Because it seems to be a very serious thing all of a sudden.
For me, honestly, not until I went to a HBCU, to be honest, because I grew up in a very like mixed environment, all white teachers, like 60 white, 30 black, 10 a lot of foreigners, like Europeans. So that's kind of how I grew up. But when I got so the black people, we're the black people. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like in high school, it was like we are the black people, they are the white people, they are the foreign people, and those are the Hispanic people. Like, but when you're at a school where everybody's black, that's like freshman year, that's when it started to like, I was like, I could just see like men would just navigate towards my lighter, fairer friends first, and then come back around. And I'm just like, no, I'm not talking to you.
Right,
No.
right.
You know, but then I got a boyfriend and then I was like wiped up the rest of college. But yeah.
What college did you attend, Kayla, if we can ask?
The Howard University.
How did I know you were going to say that? I was just imagining that it was a school that non-technically is not quite a southern HBCU, because DC is kind of like borderline.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna say Morehouse, like Samson.
Morehouse is for
Morehouse
men.
is the all-male college, so you might have been Spellhouse, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Spellman.
Spellman, yeah. Spellman.
Yeah, that's what people that go to Spellman.
If she went to Morehouse, I'd be quite shocked.
Me too, honey. How would that happen, honey?
There would be some explaining to do, but yeah, I can see that. I have a daughter that lives in that area, in that DMV area. But
I love.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Anything else you want to ask?
We know you can't talk much about the show. You're still on it currently. You haven't, you're still there. So maybe we could talk about a few people that's been, voted off and your thoughts about them. But what I do want to ask a little bit before we get into that, you about to say something, Aubrey?
No, did you check the private chat?
No, I have not. So let me find out
do.
what's going on in here.
Okay.
So first question. Okay. But what I want to find out first is I really want to ask you, what was growing up like for you before we even get into the show? Your upbringing, the city and state you were raised in, and what that was like, just to get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So I'm from Georgia. I'm from a city outside of Atlanta called Lithonia in Conyers, Georgia. I grew up quite well. My dad is a doctor, professor, and an IT like magnifique. I don't know what you want to call it. Wow. And my mom is a broker and a financial advisor. So I grew up pretty good, good situation. My parents got divorced and my dad got remarried, and I have another brother as well. So I'm the only girl, 3 brothers. And yeah, so I grew up pretty well. I grew up like a bunhead, focused on dance. I didn't want to do anything with my life other than be the first Black prima ballerina.
Right, ballerina. Did you find that there weren't a lot of Blacks in ballet? Because a lot of girls want to be ballerinas, but primarily we don't see a whole lot of Black ballerinas. I mean, we see Misty Copeland in recent years and some other ones, but we typically don't see a lot of Black ballerinas. Did you see a whole lot of Black ballerinas when you were doing it?
When I first started, no, because I first started at Atlanta Ballet. Then I went over to Belethnic Ballet Theater. And Belethnic was an all-Black ballet theater. And it was an academy. So that's when I saw like prima Black ballerinas. We even sprayed our point shoes brown to match our tights. So our tights matched our skin, each person individually. If you were lighter skin, you had the lighter shades. If you were darker skin, you had the darker shades. They had even darker shades, even lighter shades. You wore your shade. There was no like pink, everybody in pink, So yeah, that's how I grew up. Very, very fun. Wow. I always love to have a good time. Very, very family oriented. Sunday dinners, either at Nana's or the whole family's going to Red Lobster after church. Georgia girl.
You sound like something Aubrey would really appreciate. That sounds like Aubrey upbringing. Isn't that right, Aubrey?
You know what? Yeah, I think having that two-parent home and having that financial security. Yeah, I do agree. It sounds like she had it even better. So I love it. I love it
Mhm.
for her.
Yeah,
What
sure.
about what about siblings, Kayla?
I'm the oldest. I have well, yeah, I'm the oldest, and I have two younger brothers.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that must have been interesting having two brothers for siblings.
Yeah, it
Did
was
you
when I was bigger than them, and then they got all
Yeah.
tall, tall
6 feet
6 foot,
tall and
six,
stuff.
6 feet?
So now I'm little big sister.
Then you couldn't smack them around anymore. That sounds familiar too. That's my
Nope.
daughter's story. Her claim to fame. Once her brother got 6'4", like, yeah, no, you can't smack him around anymore now.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
In your dating game, what's your height restrictions? Because you said you like, height. So what's your restrictions on that?
I mean, I'm a tall girl. I'm 5'8.5".
Oh, wow. Okay.
So my height restrictions probably is right at about 6 feet.
Hmm.
But it used to be like 6'5" or 6'4" or something ridiculous. But
Right.
now, as long as you're taller than me, like we make it work. As long as you're
Okay.
taller than me,
But you want to look up to the guy at least.
I need
Right.
to be able to look up to you. I need
Right.
you to be able to be bigger than me.
Okay. Wow. Anything, Aubrey?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get into the show. I
Yeah.
wanted to talk to you. Did you ask her about romance and first love yet?
Yeah.
Are you just
Ro-
decided to?
romance and first loves, to me, like in college or when she first started dating in life, and
You know what? Okay. you you are ahead of yourself and behind yourself all at the same time.
all at the same
Kayla,
time.
Kayla, let us ladies do this now. You
Okay.
know what? We want to hear. We want to get some scoop and something that you can share with us about
Okay.
some of the people that are now no longer on the show at this point. So let's start with
Okay.
Justice.
My
Justice, we know
guy.
yeah,
Yeah,
your
your
guy.
guy.
Your guy, as long as he's not talking about himself, right? Talk to us about Justice. Just talk to us. Tell us what you would like to tell us about your experiences with Justice.
Justice is actually really a deep person. He has the Kanye effect, though. Okay. When
Yeah, I
he
can
first
see
started
that.
talking, it's like, wait, no, don't say it like that. Like, not that, not that. I get what you're saying. You're right about this point, but like the way that you're saying it, no, 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 no. So that's my problem with Justice. He already knows that. I'm just like, the way that it comes out is just not, it's not like the most palatable for every normal kind of person. So, but he really is a very deep person, very like spiritual person. I do like Justice. We've built a relationship after the show. It took me a while to visit him at Dare on Fridays, but I did. And supported his business and whatnot. But yeah, it just, we're very different. He's very Scorpio, very Gemini. It just, it is what it is. But he's actually a good person at heart. Like, he doesn't mean malice on anyone.
It's crazy because when he got voted off, one of your comments was, "I don't want to have to listen to him talk about himself for one more minute." So it's like, was it really that bad? I was like, "Oh my goodness gracious!"
There were times.
Yeah, yeah.
There were times.
What are your
Yeah.
feelings about
Did you
Zoe?
did you get the feeling? Excuse me, one second. Did you
Mhm.
get the feeling? Going back to Justice real quick. Did you get the feeling that Justice was there to be open to dating and finding a significant other, or not? Maybe just in your
I
observation or opinion.
That's a good question. I think that Justice was open to and is open to a relationship, but I just don't think the process in which the relationships were taking place, like the social experiment, wasn't for Justice. Like, Justice
Okay.
didn't want to multi-date. He just wanted to, like, when he finds someone that he likes, just like talk to them and just focus on them and just see what's up. um the multi-dating thing, and then having the women like talking to each other about the dating and stuff, that part of the experiment just wasn't, I don't think, his cup of tea.
Mm, wow.
Okay.
Well, what
Go
what are your
ahead.
thoughts about Zoe? Because him and Sharice got into it, and then he got eliminated right after that. Have you had any interaction with him, and what's he like?
Yeah, me and Zoe actually always were cool. Like Zoe is somebody that I was dating at the beginning. Zoe was probably like my closer to the most of my typical type on the show. We had a date. We had 2 dates that y'all don't see. We had a lot of chemistry. We were cool. Like, so I think that I think it's kind of funny, you know, how none of it gets shown, and it's just like, oh, okay, let's just out here kissing people. Like, no, like me and Zoe definitely had something going on. But you know, we're just different, and that's just is what it is. But Zoe is actually a cool guy. I still communicate with him ever so often. He's always all over the world, whether he's in Mexico, Europe. That man is traveling, doing his thing. He's a real boss for real. And so, yeah, I mean, me and Zoe cool.
Yeah. Okay. Aubrey, where is you? That's my grandma, Kayla. That's my proper grandma. Where is you, Aubrey?
All right, Alex. All right. I hear you.
Oh, there's the Sosa. Look at the Sosa. We missed you. We haven't seen you for a while.
Yeah, I was just saying that about the Sosa. So I just wanted to talk a little bit more about, you know, like you were saying, keeping it cute. What was that like when obviously, you know, 2 of the gentlemen that you had a connection with, like i.e. Randall and i.e. Well, over here we call him Magic Mike.
yeah, Magic Mike. Yeah.
Oh goodness!
sorry.
Oh, magical. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but hey, what can I tell you? You know, most of the channels have nicknames for quite a few of the castmates, but over here he's Magic Mike. But anyway, but to get back on track, I wanted to ask you. So how were you able to keep it so ladylike and so cute with the other ladies who were also had connections with both of these gentlemen?
For me, I'm not a confrontational person. You know what I mean? Okay. I'm more of a finisher. You know, I don't start with people. I really don't.
All right, now.
Any space you see me in, I'm chilling. You know, I feel how I feel. I think what I think. I do me. But when people come for me, then it's different. But nobody came for me, as you saw. Everyone, outside of like certain things with, you know, Katie and, but outside of that, nobody did any of the stuff that they did in the confessional. You know, like everybody just kept it to the confessional, or that's where it's supposed to be kept. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not, to me, we're in the presence of men, so we shouldn't be doing like that catty women thing. We should save that for the confessional.
Absolutely.
Not in front of men. So that's what was happening for the most part with most of the women.
Now you bring up an excellent point. So to your expression and exception of Katie, and there was a moment at the resort home where you guys were relaxing, and it was you, Brandy, and Katie, and Mike kind of sitting around, and Katie and kind of wanted to compare you to almost, it seemed to us as the viewers, like almost as a side chick, and Brandy as being Mike's wife. What was that all about? What was that all about in your opinion? Or, you know, what led up to that? Because I know there's so much editing. Did we miss something that happened before that?
No, actually nothing had happened before that. We had all had gotten to the house and was just drinking and hanging out. And I don't know what reason we sat down there and started talking. They started talking, really, because I wasn't doing any talking. I just was there. All of a sudden she starts talking. I don't know what really was the situation with that. Especially because it really didn't involve her. You know what I mean?
Right.
Regardless of the circumstances, whatever they may be, I just didn't feel like it was her place. But I get what she was trying to do in terms of like, let's hold these men accountable. We see some fakeness. We see some fakeness going on. You know, y'all clearly have something going on, because when y'all are around each other, we all feel it. Y'all got something going on. But then he's only really like affirming Brandy. And no, mind you, I don't know about the gifts. I don't know anything he does with her on their dates. I don't ask. We didn't talk about Brandy much until after the house because I don't have those conversations. So any information that y'all see about what's going on with Randall and Jamal, what's going on with Mike and Brandy, I don't know. All I know is what they say in the lounge. Oh, we went out, we had a good time, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. You know, that's all I know about. And I know what the men are telling me. So, you know, up until the house, it was very much like I wasn't really concerned.
Okay.
Did you see it as an attempt at gaslighting you a little bit?
No.
I saw it as an attempt to call Mike out because Mike had called her out before that. When we first got down. Mike was like, why you ain't got no connections? How you been here this long and you're not connected to nobody else?
Right.
How are you still here? Like, how did you make it this far in the process? Because I want to know. That's what it seemed like. And then it seemed to me like she got offended and was just like, well, what are you doing? You're treating the women like you're being a liar. You're obviously saying one thing and doing another. So it was really between the two of them. And I felt like became collateral damage because I'm like, why are y'all bringing me into y'all mess? You know,
okay, but at that point, then you got Brandy who kind of pipes up, and I forget exactly what it was Brandy said, but at a certain point, you got kind of fed up and decided to get up and walk away. What was going through your head?
For me, I'm not good at like the medium, you know, I'm not good at like in the middle. So I was like, we're gonna keep it cute. Or we're gonna curse the bitch out. There was no like, let's have this civil conversation. I was like, yeah, no, let's go. And then they don't even show up. But when I was walking off, Mike was like, no, Kayla, wait, let's talk it out. Like, wait. And I'm like, no, you don't want to be honest. They want to be messy. I'm gone. Like, I'm not doing this.
So being the hot chick at the office as opposed to a wife,
hot ass chick
at the office and not a wife, that's not complimentary at all to you.
I don't know how that comes off. I don't know how that can be defined based on who we are as people. I think that's only defined based on how they perceive Mike to be treating us. Because, you know, I've definitely been in real relationships for many, many years. I was engaged. All the people left at the house, I think I'm the closest one to marriage that's there.
Really?
So, I don't know how we making that assumption because I was never jealous. I always was just doing me. Any perception that anyone has that I was doing anything to do something to somebody else to make anybody. No, I was doing me. I'm very, you know, I'm working on self-awareness, but the last thing I'm doing is thinking about anyone else. I'm very somewhat self-absorbed in a way. So I'm really not thinking about you or your feelings. I'm really not. I'm doing whatever is on my own agenda about what I want. So that's just how I was moving kind of through the process. And
well, how real was it when you was in there with Randall? You know, you guys were hanging out, you laying across the bed, and Jamal just comes busting in there to get a hat or something more so just to see what you guys were doing, really.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. What were your thoughts about her just busting in there, disturbing what you guys had going and kind of being kind of possessive?
I mean, I didn't think it was appropriate. But I mean, there was no busting in. We weren't doing anything. We went in there so he could change so that we can go back to the pool. Because you see me always in the hot tub and this man had on jeans and a button down.
Right. Yeah.
So we really just went there so that we could just have some time so we could talk while he went through his bag and got his stuff and did his thing, and that we could just talk away from people and we can like have conversation like we have when we're on the phone. So that was really my goal. That was our goal. That was our whole reason there. And he's just like, I need to go change. And I'm like, they cut that part out though. I need to change so I can get in the pool with y'all. And that's why I said, you want to go in the house? Yeah, let's go. So we could talk. You see, we joking, we laughing, we doing how we do when it's just us. And that's all it was. I had no idea that she was coming right behind. And I'm not really sure why she felt disrespected by us spending time together. But at the same time, I don't know what he was telling her about the nature of our relationship, you know.
Yeah, because you made a comment that, you know, you're trying to spend time with Randall, but every time you turn around, she's looking over his shoulder, or she's there.
Yeah.
Like she's stalking
like we were playing ping pong
right
against Katie and Swayze. She's literally sitting in the chair right behind us. And then, you know, then we move to another area. We go to the hot tub and she comes to the hot tub. Then we go to the room and then she comes to the room. That is
Oh.
that's the cadence of how that happened, because Randall got there late. That's why he didn't have his bathing suit on, because he had a car issue and he got there late. So when
Oh.
he came out, we were over there. We played either ping pong first or after. I don't know. But that was the cadence of like how it kind of happened. I don't know.
Wow.
I just felt like I didn't get it. I feel like for me, that's just not how I move around. Like, I don't need to police you. If I need to police you, then you probably ain't it. You know what I mean? You can go, boo.
Right.
Go entertain. You'll be back. You'll be back here tonight, And if that's the case, and you know that and you're secure in that, then it's kind of like, you shouldn't care. You should trust that they're not going to do anything that would jeopardize whatever it is that they're communicating with you. But like I said, I don't know what he was communicating with her on the nature of our relationship. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot of phone calls behind the scenes as we gather from, other seasons and things like that, when you guys are trying to get to know each other. So nobody knows what's being said to each other in that regard. As we found
we know whatever's said in the lounge.
Right.
But then that in the lounge also, people, when you're dating the same person and it's time for you to make your announcement on what y'all doing, I'll be like, I don't know. Are you making it? Are you bigging it up? Are you making it more? Are you trying to irritate me by like doing certain things, So I didn't know what to think. And I would go to them, particularly after, because I wasn't the type that would go back and say what was said in the lounge like some other ladies. I didn't do that at any point until the house, because we had a conversation at the house. Like Tommy sat down with us, as you saw, and went through all the guys, blah, blah, blah. That's when I found out about the olive juice thing. They don't show Jamala talking about it, but she talks about it. Like, I never knew that happened. He never told me that happened on that date weeks prior. So she talked about it at the house when we met with Tommy, and I was like, what? What? You know what I'm saying? And then I talked to him about it, and he was like, oh, it's just a joke. It's just an inside joke, something that she came up with. I went with it. It was cute. I was like, okay. All right. She over here telling everybody y'all ain't love.
Right.
So,
wow.
I was like, okay. She said, we said I love you to each other. And I think that's exactly what she said. Yeah, we said I love you to each other.
I never could understand that either. I never could understand what would be the purpose of saying something close to I love you to simulate I love you. I mean, what's the purpose? Either guy's telling you that on his own that he loves you, or he's not. It's simple, right?
It should be.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Go ahead, Kayla.
I don't know. I'm more guarded. So I could see myself like possibly falling in a deep like in 6 weeks. But like, I would think it would be a little bit dangerous to fall in love in 6 weeks, because it's just like, you don't really know this person.
Absolutely.
Right.
You don't know them. And then there's cameras. There could be other agendas. There could be other things.
Exactly.
I don't know. I'm very cautious. I've been through things, like I said. So I'm giving everybody the benefit of the doubt. I'm giving people more chances than I would in the real world, because I'm going through the process and listening to Tommy about seeing it through. Right. So I'm doing all new things.
Right.
But the
dating game was interesting because you almost won the date with Randall, but Trunika ended up winning that date. But the interesting thing is, after the date, she was voted off. And Trunika seemed to be very like a mild-mannered, laid-back type woman, obviously very attractive. But the 2 times she was at the bottom, she went from like 0 to 100 real quick. So did you see that, other than the times she was at the bottom? Is she somebody who can go from 0 to 100 regularly? Did you see any of that or no?
I never saw that from Trunika. So they had to piss her off. Something had to happen, because that's not the Trunika that I ever saw at any point. Even when things would get like heated behind the scenes, there were like fights in the girls' lounge or whatever. Like Trunika was always the one like, ladies, let's love and light. Let's love and light. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't her personality. So I'm thinking that there had to be people saying one thing and doing another. That's the only thing I could see what she would be upset about. But at the same time, that's what it had to be. Because like I said, everybody thought I was being shady against her in the house, saying, oh, they're the least connected. I wasn't being shady. I'm talking about what Randall's telling me. that where we all fall on the tier, and she fell at the bottom. She had been fell at the bottom between the three of us, according to him.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't trying to say anything against her. I was saying he said it was pretty much me and Jamala, and then like he liked Trinika, but blah blah blah. And she was really like LJ doing LJ injustice. So I wasn't aware that it was as deep as it was. When I was watching these scenes back, I was like, wow,
yeah,
this is deep. I see what you're talking about. What the fuck is this? You know what I mean? So it was a lot of things being said and said different things being done and then other things being done. It had to be.
Yeah. Is the tension between Katie and Sharice, is that like real tension, or is that for dramatic effect from production or something like that?
No,
they always seem to be going at it.
It's absolutely real.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe it. I
Who,
believe it.
who's the
And
instigator?
speaking, oh, go ahead.
Who's the instigator? That's a tough one, huh?
I don't know if I can answer. I really don't know. I know
All
Sharice pretty well. Like we've become close, but I don't know Katie in that well.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to them, the two of them, I don't know.
Right.
Because at the beginning they were close, remember? And I didn't click up with anybody. I didn't have like a bestie at any point in the process. I was like a lonesome, especially after the house. Like when we would have to do stuff, I would be over here and the girls would be over there, and it would just be like me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
You know, we didn't really get close till after the show. Or like later in the show, like after the house, because we spend a lot of time in the house together too, because it was kind of like, what is going on with these men, you know, like and neither one of us was willing to be like in the bed with somebody on national TV that's dating other people. Like, what are we doing that for? So we both spent a lot of time together at the house, and we kind of started to build a friendship there. So in terms of their relationship, I don't really know, but in terms of this process, I definitely think Katie is more of the instigator in all the little shits that have happened.
Aubrey?
I want to come back to Sharice, but I want to ask you this question first. One of our longtime subscribers, Stay Tuned Reviews, was asking, what was it like on the set as far as food wise, as far as preparation and catering? Were they attending to you guys as castmates? Were they attending to your nutritional needs and things like that?
Yeah, I know there was some people somebody was vegetarian and somebody was pescatarian. So they were making sure everybody was kind of taken care of at certain instances. So the house, the lounges, the dinner, the group dinners, all of those were always like well-to-do catered food. And then the dates, obviously, because these dates are out at real restaurants where there are real regular people just sitting around that are looking at us like, what they got cameras in here for? They don't know what's going on. They just see, you know, you know, so there were times and little certain instances where it was kind of like, what is this? But on all the major things, like I said, the lounges, the houses, the dinners, they were always like good.
Right. And so then I want to come back to Sharice, and I want to ask what, you know, generally speaking, up to this point where we are now in the, you know, in the series, what did you think about the energy that Sharice exuded, and what did you think about, you know, just let's start with how she interacted with you personally and the other ladies there. What did you observe?
Sharice is very outspoken like myself. And, you know, that was obviously easy to observe. It takes me a little bit more time to get comfortable and start, you know, getting shady, but not for all of us. And that's okay. You know? Yeah, so she's very outspoken. That was always the case. Like we always know we're gonna get it straight with Sharice. You ain't gotta beat around the bush or try to pull it out of her. We ain't gotta do none of that, you know. So yeah, I just think that throughout the process, you know, Sharice is one of the most successful women there, period.
I can see that.
She was always the most well-dressed, the most labels, the most well-to-do, the most connected in Miami. Like was one of the, like I said, most well-to-do women on the show.
Mm.
So some people, may have felt some type of way about that when, different days, different bags and shoes and clothes and cars, and that's
jealousy.
Okay, and speaking of Sharice, yeah, I'm going to come to that. What did you think about the Sharice and the Samson connection? Did you see any real sparks in person? Because we're having a hard time as viewers really catching any real sparks between the two of them.
Okay. At the beginning, once they started to get close, like the cast dinner, I was like, okay, like it was really like you could see it. They were really feeling each other. It was like, okay. And then, that first day at the house, it was like, okay, y'all kissing and stuff and holding each other. Okay.
Look at her neck rolling.
They look real comfortable. But I don't know, day 2, I was kind of like, I don't know about this one. I started to be like, I don't know if they're compatible in terms of like Sharice is very free spirited. She just be able to be herself and like be funny and be cool, whatever it is. Understand the difference between sarcasm and satire and like keep up. You know what I'm saying? And there was just some times where I could see that they weren't on the same page in terms of how they communicated.
Okay.
So I started to get concerned at the house. And then after the house, I didn't see a whole lot of growth. It didn't seem like it was growing. It seemed like she was pushing for it, and it kind of was just kind of like, I don't know what's happening here. Like she was being really open. I was surprised. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, she's really giving Samson a shot here. That's
right.
good. Like, let the walls down. Like give a guy a chance. And
because you were, if I'm not mistaken, you were one of the ladies that were invited to meet his ex, right? Oh, no, that was
Brandy and Looney.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Brandy and Looney.
But what was your but aside from that, so that was not my mistake, my sorry. But aside from that, what were your interactions with Samson? Was he trying to contact you? As we heard, he was contacting multiple women, to say
every woman.
You're my number one. Was he telling you were his number one also?
Samson never told me he was my number one. Never.
Well, did you talk to him like on the first mixer?
We spoke at the first mixer. We did have a talk, and we talked briefly throughout. We started talking on the phone after the dinner.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know why.
And
I don't know why that.
No follow-up.
I mean, I guess you're supposed to be dating everybody there, right? So yeah, he would call me. He would call me. He called me.
But got my number,
and he started calling me and talking to me and stuff like that. So I was just assuming like, okay, well the numbers are getting down. I guess he got to start talking to everybody. I didn't know what his real intention was in calling me. Like I didn't know if he really liked me or what, because we really had to talk like that. But then I did show up to the dinner with different hair and a new look and a new vibe. And he liked that. He was like, wow, Kayla, you look amazing tonight. And you're all red. Oh my goodness. So I was like, okay, let's talk. Like we talked on the phone and whatever, but it was just kind of like, just friendly.
Okay.
I couldn't.
I have a Magic Mike question. Everybody's coming in here. Everybody should be hitting like. If you haven't hit like yet, please do that coming in here.
Yeah, guys, what he said.
Yeah. I got a Magic Mike question because this went on a couple of times, and it seems to kind of got you a little bit peeved at times, where his interaction with Brandy was just open, very open. He didn't care who seen it, and it was open and like, oh, Brandy, you my girl, we together, blah blah, you cool in the gang and all that. But then when she turned her back, it was like, hey, Kayla, you got a minute? Kayla, come here. It's like, what are you sneaking to talk to me for? Especially after the resort, he came out to the parking lot to kind of like run behind you when everybody's leaving. It's like, why are you coming behind me now? It's like, so what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I didn't really understand that because we're all in the dating process and everybody's aware that we're dating each other. It's not a secret that we're dating. It's not a secret. So why are you acting like it is? But watching it back now and seeing that digital exclusive, I was like, Okay, that makes sense. When he was saying like the reassurance, I think that him doing that gave her like him just giving her that attention is what he had to do to give her the reassurance that she needed.
Yeah,
Maybe that was it.
don't you
Maybe
need the
that was it.
reassurance?
Whereas like I didn't necessarily need that because he wasn't my first choice anyway.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I had picked from the beginning Randall. Like that's the person I said in every lounge.
Mm.
It's crazy in the first. That's wild in the first episode that they show me saying Swayze. Yeah, I liked him, but like I thought, like I said, he was giving me player vibes. Like as soon as I met him, I was like, oh, this man's in the streets. You know, that's not saying that's any of that's true because I didn't know him. But like it's wild, you know, how they what they decide to show. But yeah, I mean, Randall was always my first choice. So you know, me and Mike didn't even become connected until right before the white party, really. And then after the white party, we spent a lot of time together at the white party, like a lot. And then we just started connecting from there. And we probably had the most dates of anybody on the show, period. So it just kind of grew into something, but it wasn't like, that wasn't what I was going for from the beginning, but that's what she was going for from the beginning.
Well, that takes me back a little bit. Hold on a moment, Kayla. What was it? Did you bring the two girlfriends and there was a moment where you got a little teary-eyed?
Yeah.
Can you
It was just one of my girlfriends that came.
Yeah. Can you address what you were thinking and what she was saying to you in that moment that maybe we missed on the show? Could you address that?
Yeah. Her and I were speaking about when Mike and them got up and left, you know, she was just like, Kayla, Mike's looking a little familiar. Familiar. Right. Go away.
Wait. Kayla, we're gonna need you to start that over again because for some reason everything froze and we didn't hear anything what you just said.
Oh, yeah. So my friend, you know, when Mike walked off, she was just like, you know, Mike's looking really familiar. He's looking like something we've seen before. And we started talking about my ex. We started having like a deep conversation about my ex. And like, it's like, Mike got kids. And we started talking about the whole kid thing. And like my ex and his crazy baby mama and all the drama and all the pain. And it was just like, she was just like, Kayla, like, I get it. I get why you're attracted to him. I get like his energy. He's funny. He's cool. I get it. But you already know you can't do this, right?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And I just started getting emotional because I was just like, you're right. And I'm clearly, you know, doing the same old shit.
Yeah.
And it was just a growth moment for me, which is a part of me doing the process, like do something different. And it was definitely a growth moment for me because, you know, I was saying that Randall was my number one and that's what I wanted, but I wasn't acting that way simply because it was a number of reasons. One, that Randall wasn't giving me as much attention as I would have liked because little did I know it wasn't that he was super busy. It was that he was busy with Jamala. So, you know, that's just, and then Mike was spending a lot of time with me. Like I said, me and Mike had 9 dates throughout the entire process and him and Brandon.
Wow. Kayla, when did you become aware? When did you become aware that Jamala and Randall was spending a lot of time? Was that at the resort house?
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then that's when I saw it and I was like, oh, a lot more is going on here than you told me. A whole lot more.
Right.
So it just was what it was. Like if that's what you want more. And then we got into a whole argument that night, like a real argument. You know what I mean? It was heated. So at the same time, I was kind of like, well, if he didn't have feelings, some kind of feeling with me, why is he up here trying to like argue with me? And like, why is he giving me all this energy if he's not feeling some kind of way about me? But then he tells me, you know, so here it is. Jamal is the one, you're the two. That is what I've been doing. You know, it is what it is. And I was like, okay. So I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm picking Mike for the game.
Right. For the game.
So you had that switch go off and you change horses midway, or
I didn't change
again.
midway. I just was upset with him already. And then the game was about knowing the person. And like I said, I had been spending more time with Mike. So I'm like, if I want to win, I already pissed with him. And I know for a fact, I may know more about Mike because Mike was more forthcoming. Like, as you saw on the date with Randall's friend, I told him, like, I don't want to probe you. We get on the phone, you start talking, we start talking. I shouldn't have to ask specific questions to start getting deep. It's just like we're talking about something, blah, 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 blah. You see something from childhood and you go, oh my God, when I was growing up, we used to have these, and tell me a story. I shouldn't have to go, so when you were a kid, like what kind of, like, I don't, you know what I mean? And it was just with Mike, it was just kind of like we would just be talking,
Right.
So I was like, okay, I know I can win this game if I choose Mike. So
okay, I got a question. Okay, well, now you give me two questions. So did it ever cross your mind? Because this is the question that viewers are asking now. Did it ever cross your mind that when Mike was spending so much time with you, it might have been, just maybe, during the time when Brandy was up in the air or traveling on the other side of the country or in some other state? Because we know that's what she does. She's a flight attendant. Did that ever cross your mind?
no, because she wasn't flying or working during the show.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
I remember her talking about her schedule in the van one time. And like as we were getting to the end, she was like, yeah, I'm gonna start getting back on the schedule. So as far as I know, she was fully available. She was not flying during the process.
And, what's interesting when your friend was speaking to you and you had the little teary moment, she kind of got to you. They always say, nice guys finish last, good girls like bad boys, and all this other kind of stuff. These cliches. Do you think you fall into that category for some reason or another, and why?
Liking bad boys?
Yeah, or liking the guys that's not necessarily good for you. They may be eye candy, but not good for you. Do you have a habit of doing that?
I have when I was younger, for sure. That would not be the case with my ex-fiance, but yeah, I have in the past, especially like if I'm getting more attention with them. Like for me, I used to be where I like go where the attention is. Like I don't want to fight for a dude. I don't want to try to get you to show me attention. So I'm going to entertain the people that are showing me the most attention, because like, do I need to ask you out? Do I need to like be blowing your phone up? Like I thought it was supposed to be the other way. I thought you were trying to get with me. So my thought process was always like who likes you. So if a guy really likes you, then I don't know. It just depends. Like, but yeah, I mean, I think we've all like heeded to that for sure.
Yeah, because it seems to have really gotten to you. Like me and Aubrey was saying, even when the episode was airing, we was like, okay, it was something really got to her. What is going in her mind at this moment? I guess because nobody really knows what's in a person's mind at any given moment. So, but something was touching you. Maybe you had a flashback or something, and we were just wondering, and the viewers were wondering the same thing, because we were just surprised you were so touched and crying. We kind of surprised everybody.
Yeah, it just wasn't about those men. It was about me. It was about what I've went through with my ex, and it took me so long to leave and going back times. And it was really just about me and what I've been through. And Kirby, can we stop with this side chick language? Everybody on this show is single. We've only known each other a little over a month. Relax yourself,
Yeah. Now they brought that up, and
like, are y'all considering the why? Like, do you honestly tell me? Mm-hmm. Does it mean that a man's gonna make you his wife because he buys you gifts? Mm-hmm. Does that mean that? Because Samson was buying gifts for a lot of damn people.
Right. He sure was.
Doing a lot of affirming and affirming a lot of different people.
Mm-hmm.
That's
but
so
still
true.
Doesn't leave the show with anyone. You know what I'm saying? Not to say how the show's going to end, but I'm just saying I've been here, done that. That does not mean that he's going to be with you for real. Mm-hmm. Like I've been love bombed before. You meet them, they're doing everything right. They're buying you all the gifts. They're taking you out. They're doing you all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And it goes really fast and then it's over really fast. Yeah. I've been there. I've done that before. So like, I get it. a long while, I didn't know that those things were happening. But I get it, I get it. It makes a woman feel good. It makes y'all have the impression that like this person's taking them very seriously. And maybe that was his intention to like, how do I differentiate the one from the two, considering I spend more time with Kayla, I have more dates with her. So I need to do more things to affirm the other girl that y'all don't really see me with. Like one-on-one, unless we're in a group setting. So I don't know. I have no idea why that was going on.
But Kayla, and please forgive me because I try to get Kirby is one of our old faithfuls, okay? And Kirby, drop down in the chat and tell her I'm sure you didn't meet any offense by that. But I get where that could be offensive because that's something that was kind of intimated on the show. Not started here, but intimated on the show. But what I want to ask you is, let's go back to this a little bit. And I want to ask you a question, going still back to the girlfriend, and you were talking, and when you became emotional, as you mentioned, it had nothing to do with the guys. But do you feel like in your heart of hearts that what your friend was trying to tell you was related to maybe one man being more of a having a player type mentality or spirit or however you want to coin it, versus maybe one person maybe being a little more genuine? And we don't know. None of us really know. We can't. We're not God. We can't read anybody's heart. But as viewers, as we're watching it, we feel like maybe there's one person there that seems to be for you, who's not as much for you as maybe it appears to you, if that makes sense. So I'm wondering.
I mean, partially. Yeah. Because if it's kind of like you're for me, then you would make time. You would make more time. And it was always like, oh, we just haven't had the time. Oh, we just haven't had the time. You make time for who you want to make time for. So it's kind of like, I get what y'all are saying, but then it's kind of like, should I just scratch it and start over and get new guys? It was just a kind of a tough situation because it's the process. We're all supposed to be dating each other, and it didn't really feel like that on my season. It looked like people, It looked like people like kind of grabbed a person from week 1, week 2, and they were just playing games with everybody else versus like actually getting to know the other people. They're just like, oh, I got to talk to you because I guess I got to talk to you. That's how I'm looking at it now. That's not what I thought it was then, but that's how I'm looking at it now. Like people are just talking to people that talk to people, but they know who they really want. And you don't even know if you really want them, but you pick them after 2 weeks. You don't really know them. You're like, oh, the vibes, stupid shit, the vibes.
the energy.
That's not a thing. Oh, the energy. It's just the energy and the vibes. All that is sex. Sex.
Yeah.
Sexual tension. Yeah. That's what we're saying. That's what the viewers are saying. We see off of certain people, we see sexual tension just radiate. Like for example, Katie and Swayze. We see the sex vibes just popping off of them. Pop. Like popcorn.
I seen it too. They were very comfy with each other.
And now coming back around to you, we see a certain vibe, a certain energy popping off of you as it relates to Mike. That's just what
that was there. We were clearly attracted to each other.
Yes.
That was what it was. It's not something that we could hide in any way, even sometimes around Brandy. And I think that's also why he would always push to make sure he was right up on her, because, if he started leaning over here too long, he might forget she was there and start doing stuff he probably shouldn't do or that he can't do because he's giving her this certain security, So I don't know. It could be a number of things, but I think there was a lot of sexual chemistry between people early on, and that prevented them from getting to know other people.
Okay, and then one last question. When Mike made the comment and said that if he could change anything, he wouldn't change anything with you, but that he would change that Brandy needs so much more reaffirming. What did you think in that moment?
He was lying. If he could change something about me, it would be what he wanted to change, which is that I picked him first from day one.
Oh. Oh,
because it was always like, well, you kissed another guy, you did this with other guys, and you know what I mean? And it was always like,
yeah,
even it kind of came up with my parents, and my mom was like, are y'all together? Y'all not together, right? You single, she single, y'all dating people. So what? Like, you know, even my friend was like, that's very petty, Mike. You're 40-something-year-old man. What are you talking about? She kissed another guy. Who cares? That's not your woman. You're not with her.
right.
If you want her, why would you talk about another guy when we're trying to talk about you? You know, so I think that he was lying. I think if he could go back and change it, he would have wanted me to be all in from day one and not put any energy anywhere else. And, you know, he just like, he didn't want to say that in front of my parents' face, though, I think. But
so he's the kind of guy that requires, he needs that right off the bat, and he didn't like that you had other interests, is what it sounds like you're saying. Am I understanding?
And that's why he would always bring up the kiss. And it was actually similar with Swayze, because if you see in the beginning at the pool date, like we were talking or whatever, like, but after the kiss with Zoe, he was just like, you know, I don't know. These Carol City boys, the ego can't do it. It's just like, oh, I seen you with somebody else, even the littlest thing. And it's just like, not like Sway didn't even try to get to know me for real after that. He was just done.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, that wasn't even a real kiss. That's how I kissed my grandma.
We talk about the fragility of the male ego all the time on this show. We talk about it all the time. And, you know, we're going to have respect for your time, Kayla, but I do want to say a couple of things. Your father really went in on Mike and Randall. I mean, I talked about Tranika going 0 to 1,000. Your father went 0 to 1,000 on these dudes. So what was your thoughts when your father was going in? Like, you think he was being too rough, or that's just who your dad is?
He was not rough.
Well, he was. They ain't show you rough, okay? They showed y'all all the nice parts.
Was there more to your father actually going in on the guys? I feel like that's anything that a real man can take that. I mean, like, what do you expect from somebody's father? You expect him to roll out the red carpet to his daughter? What? Really?
Neither one of them was feeling either one of them. They was just like, you know, what is the confusion that you have? Like, my daughter's amazing. What is it that you have going on here? You know? I just think that they didn't feel like either one of them were sure about me. And so they really wasn't over here for the pleasant, like they were trying to be pleasant, but they really wasn't over here for the pleasantries. Like, no, like they did that a little bit with Mike as it got going, but they were definitely grilling him. They started really getting into the family with Randall. They were asking him a lot of questions about his family, about where he comes from, about who raised him, what's his representation of love. You know, they were getting into his psyche more. And then with Mike, they were getting into the divorce thing. They were just like, because they're divorced. And so they were just like, oh, y'all telling me you just grew apart? That's bullshit. What's really good? What really happened? People don't just fall out of love one day. Something happened. And then they were really like, my dad was just like going in. He was just like, oh, y'all grew apart? No, y'all didn't grow apart. She was like that when you married her. You thought that you could change her. You thought it could be different. You thought, oh, it would get better. You know what I mean? And then that's why my mom said when he was talking about the reassurance thing, my dad was just like, well, if that's something you got to do now, you know, that's something that you're always going to have to do. So 5 years from now, don't come and say, oh, she needs out of that. You knew this. And it's probably the same thing. Like they were going so deep. I swear to God, like they were going in. Yeah, so I'm really happy that they only showed like some of the really nice parts. They just kept it really nice.
But you know, I could read your dad's temperament, and I knew through editing they was cutting some stuff because I saw his temperament. You know, throughout. I felt that. You know, so I knew some editing had to play somewhere in there,
and a little mental too, because he would ask a question and. Like what he was saying about like what's the most important quality in a woman, and he said, "Oh, the way you treat her man." My dad's like, "It's not a quality. You're not answering the question."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a quality of a person.
Exactly.
What quality? And he was just like, I'll have to get back to you. And then my dad was like, "Okay, you have 48 hours, and then I'm gonna call Kayla and ask her if you've gotten back to her." He was like, okay, sir.
I like your father. Is your father also former military? I
Yes.
like your dad.
Yeah, he
Thank
is.
you. Thank you. Real men need to man up, because if you go to meet somebody's parents, expect that. And if you don't expect that, then you're not a real man.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he was like, Mike held his own. Like, Mike didn't waver. He at least tried. You know what I mean? My parents are really deep. I thought my parents were awesome. I hope y'all enjoyed them.
I
Yeah.
did. And by the way, they're both very, very attractive people. I thought for a minute I had to go back and run the tape back and DVR, run it back to see that was your dad and not your older brother. I was like, oh my goodness.
People say that about my mom all the time. I'm like, no,
Your
these are
mom,
my
she's
parents.
beautiful.
And they were not young parents. My mom didn't have me until she was 30. Like, I don't have young
good
parents.
Girl, good genes, honey. Good genes.
Yeah,
Black don't crack.
Yeah.
So I have a good future to look forward to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry, Obi. Go ahead.
Ask Kayla about her, what she wants to talk about, and how our viewers can reach out to her and check out her YouTube channel. Ask her all of that.
Yes. And I just want to say that, with my man Kirby and all the other viewers, just understand, Kayla, that with this celebrity that you find yourself in now, and this has been all the seasons of Ready to Love, a lot comes with that, good and bad. When you find yourself in people's living rooms every week, we think you're part of the family and we really know you guys and all this stuff. So a lot come with this celebrity. Your DMs get flooded, just a lot comes with that. You know what I mean? A lot. So, but we just want to, ask you, what do you have going on business wise, and where can people find you to follow you and even support you in your endeavors?
Yeah. So, okay. So as you see here, I have my YouTube channel. I make all types of content, blogs. I have like panels where I talk about different topics. I'm also going to start doing reaction videos and story times. And I'm going to be doing probably like, since I'm that young hot chick, I'm gonna start doing some try-ons so y'all can see all this young hot chick. And because I have a couple of clothing sponsors now, so I'll be doing try-ons and stuff like that. I could, have some other things going on in terms of that. My business, shout out to the Monet Group Design. We have a bunch of new services and things we're doing. We do same day coordination. We do full 30-day planning. We do small parties, 50 people and under, and stuff like that. So if you are in Florida, Georgia, or DC, that's the place that I have vendors and I do events. I will be in DC next weekend for Howard University Homecoming. Okay. I will be hosting 2 different events, so stay tuned to my Instagram for that. Booked and busy, doing her thing. I'm gonna have my interview with Radio 1 on Wednesday the 19th. So you can, if you live in the DMV, you can listen to me live on the radio. I'll also have that on my Instagram.
Awesome.
And and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna have some merch out too. Young hot chick merch.
There you go. You're gonna run with that. She's gonna run with that.
She may as well, because she fits the bill for sure. And
yeah.
Kayla, don't forget that you are more than welcome to come back for a part 2 after the season has ended.
Honey. I'm not doing the reunion.
Gonna be lit, huh? Gonna be lit.
You're welcome to come back. And then I'll tell you what, we have interviewed so many Ready to Love. I've lost track of how many Ready to Love alum. We're doing a Ready to Love panel on Sundays for you guys, episodes that air on Friday. And we've got just a cast full of Ready to Love alum. So you're welcome to join us on that for the next season. But we want to thank you for being here. You really go ahead, Alex. You're going to say
as we close. Do you know DJ Quicksilver? Because we interviewed him last week. Since you're from the DC area, do you know him? Because he's very popular.
I don't know him personally, but I know of him. Living in DC, like he works all the big events. I definitely know of him. I've seen him in person at events, but I don't know him personally. But I am going to be reaching out to all of the OWN network, Warner Brothers Discovery talent, and trying to link up with them when I'm in town. So we'll see I'm sure he's going to be spinning somewhere, has something going on next weekend, because DC is going to be packed. next
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
Howard Homecoming is going to be super big this year because it's been canceled the past 2 years because of COVID. So this is the first year it's back,
Right.
and it's the 10-year anniversary for class of 2012.
Wow. Wow.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, Kayla. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for
Really
having me,
appreciate
guys.
it.
So nice.
You have an open invitation to come back anytime.
Yes, and you guys have an open invitation to come on my channel. I review the show on Wednesdays, and I just have people come in. I am the single one comes often. I've like different people. I was gonna see if Chris, who does reviews on Ready Love, wants to come and just do like a round panel and see what you guys think.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
don't talk
I'd
as
love
much.
to join you. Yeah.
I don't talk as much on there. I let the panel talk, and I just fill in things that they may not have shown. But other than that, I just kind of let the panel talk, and like all the people that watch like vehemently and like, really are into the show. So yeah, it's happening. And what happens at the Ready to Love reunion? Fireworks.
In a word.
Goodness, I love the way she did her shoulders. So cute.
One word, fireworks. Okay.
Fireworks. All right, Kayla. Well, we're gonna drop you down.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank
and like
you,
I said,
guys.
feel free to come back. Thank you so much. We enjoyed
Thanks so
you.
much. Bye
All
bye.
right now.
All right.
Bye now.
Bye. Wow, that was very interesting. Very good interview.
Very excellent. She's so generous and so relatable. I really enjoyed her. I can't wait to check out and go on her show. Yeah, I'd definitely love to be a part of that panel. That's awesome.
She's really a sweetheart too. She's really such a
is
sweetheart.
And before we go, guys, we want to thank you for hanging out with us. We hope that if you haven't already, hit that like button. It really helps the channel. Guys, we do this to entertain you guys and to bring you the interviews that you want to see. So help us out, please, by liking the video, subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Consider Kirby becoming a member of the channel. And Alex also has his own channel. You want to tell him a little bit about your channel before we close out here?
Yes, Magnetic Repellent. Go over there. Ellen and Monique does such a great job putting the link in the chats and things like that. But go over to Magnetic Repellent and catch some of my content there. My subscription is going up. So please, guys, just check me out and support me.
Absolutely. And once again, we just want to thank you. We know we'll be putting Kayla's information into the description shortly. So come on back, leave a comment, leave some purple hearts. Just say, hey, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is. We also want to especially thank who helps to bring this review to you, and these reviews and recaps. People like Roro for Real, who also sent in a super thanks, a super chat, and is also a member. Members like Monique King, LMV, Ravine S. We want to thank all of the members, and those of you considering, go ahead and consider joining. That join button is right in the corner. It says join. Hit that button, and then there's 4 levels of membership that you can select from. Okay. And well, guys, that's about it. We want to thank you. We'll be back on Sunday once again with our Married at First Sight San Diego season. We'll be doing our recap at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And at 6:30, we'll be back with Ready to Love. All right, guys, we'll see you then.
All right. Have a great night, guys.
Have a great night. Stay safe.